Hey, friends. Welcome back to Design to Win. This is Dara, and I'm the host. Well, I'm going to be honest today. I almost didn't record this episode this week. This week, I've been dealing with a lot of fatigue, brain fog, just that feeling of not being very clear in your head. And when I sit down to pray and ask God what this week's message should be, I didn't hear a full outline for it. I didn't hear a full download. I just heard 3 words: healing, hope, and glory. Well, at first I thought, Lord, how does this tie into identity? How does this thing tie into being created to win? And how does that fit into what I've been teaching everybody? What I've been talking about on my podcast? Well, the more I sat with it, the more I realized something. Sometimes we don't feel strong, we feel weak. We start questioning who we are, and that's where this message begins today. We live in a world that wounds people. Sometimes it gossips, sometimes its leadership handles things wrong, sometimes it's betrayal, sometimes it's just exhaustion from carrying too much for too long. I know what that feels like. And when we're wounded, emotionally, spiritually, mentally, our identity about who we are starts to feel really shaky. We begin to think, maybe I'm not as strong as I thought I was. Maybe I missed it. Maybe I'm not cut out for this. Well, in Isaiah 53:5, it says, by his stripes we are healed. Healing isn't weakness. Healing is restoration. God does not heal what he does not value. Let that sink in for just a second. If he is healing you, restoring you, rebuilding you, it's because you matter to him. You matter greatly to him. It took me a long time to understand that and to realize that. Even Jesus himself, when he was having a hard time, when he was struggling with things, or even when he had a lot that he was dealing with, which he did, he withdrew to rest. And Jesus wept in agony, in stress. He felt the weight of what he was carrying, just like a lot of us do. Healing is part of being designed to win. It's a component of that, because you cannot walk confidently in who you are if you are bleeding internally. Not physically, so to speak, but bleeding internally. Healing restores our clarity. Healing restores our identity. And healing restores strength. Now let's talk about hope, the second word God gave me. Brain fog is a very strange thing. It makes you feel behind. It makes you feel ineffective. It makes you question your productivity, your sharpness, even your calling. I have so been there with that too. And sometimes spiritual fog feels the same way. There really is such a thing. But in Romans 15:13, it says, may the God of hope fill you with all joy and peace as you trust in him. Hope is not a loud thing. Hope, in truth, is quiet confidence. Hope says to us, this season is not my identity. This fog is temporary. This fatigue does not cancel my calling. Winning doesn't always look like energy. Sometimes winning just looks like not quitting, just continuing on. even when you feel bad. Sometimes winning looks like trusting God when you don't feel Him near you. Hope anchors you when your emotions are unstable, and hope reminds you that God is still working, even when you feel like you're sitting in silence. I have been there many times in my life, and I've wondered, okay, God, what's going on? What are you doing? But hope reminds me that God's still working. Now, here's the part that shifted everything for me. This is where glory comes in. 2 Corinthians 4:16-17 says, "Therefore we do not lose heart, for our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." Let me read that again. "Therefore we do not lose heart, for our light and momentary troubles are achieving for us an eternal glory that far outweighs them all." Just let that soak in. Glory, the word glory, isn't applause. Glory is transformation. It's God's presence in the midst of everything. Every hard season shapes something in us: depth, compassion, discernment, resilience. What if the fog is forming something in you that clarity never could? What if this season is strengthening parts of you that success alone never would have built? Glory is who you become through the struggles. It's God's presence in the midst of all of it. Healing leads to hope, and hope leads to glory. That's where the three words come together: healing, hope, and glory. So tonight, or last night, life literally fell in the bathtub with me. My cat has been extra needy, hopped off onto the bathtub and lost his balance. And somehow, between him wanting my attention and me trying to juggle my phone from going into the tub, my phone ended up in the water. I was trying to catch him, and I had my phone on my little rack in my tub, listening to some scripture stuff. And there the cat and the phone went into the tub. It was funny, but it wasn't funny at the time. I stood there thinking, seriously? All I could do is laugh at the time. But here's what struck me in the whole thing. Life falls into the bathtub sometimes. Things short circuit. Plans go sideways. And momentum stops. But we don't throw everything away when all those things happen, when life feels that way. We dry it out. We give it time. We let it sit. We rest and we reset. Those are all things that we have to do. And we rinse again. That is where healing, that is hope, that leads to glory in our life. Well, if you're in a foggy season right now, if you're tired, if something feels very short-circuited in your life, and if you feel like you're not hearing clearly, don't mistake the pause for defeat right now. It may not seem like it, but healing really is working. Hope is rising up, and the glory is forming. Just remember, among all of that, you are still created on purpose and with a purpose. And even the fog, amidst all of it, God sees you and He hasn't changed His plans. You are still designed to win. Hope you enjoyed this episode. Take time to pray about it, think about it, and have a blessed and favored week. Until next time, love you.